Good day everyone. Welcome to another lesson natin. So for our week 7, our last lesson before prelim exam, our topic is legal, ethical, and societal issues in media and information. So for today's lesson, we're going to discuss several important topics na maaapekto sa atin whenever we use internet, social media, mga website, online videos, image, music, and other forms ng digital media. So, ano ba yung cover ng mga lesson natin? So, we will cover copyright, fair use, plagiarism, netiquette, the digital divide, internet addiction, cyberbullying, and lastly, the virtual self. So, these topics are very relevant sa inyo, sa atin. So, as a student, because almost araw-araw nag-i-interact tayo with digital information. Nagsisearch tayo sa Google, nanonood tayo ng videos, gumagamit tayo ng social media, nagda-download tayo ng image, and gumagawa tayo ng school projects. So, you communicate using messaging application, katulad ng mga messenger. So, because of that, it is sobrang importante na hindi natin um, alam lang kung paano gumamit ng technology. Dapat alam din natin kung paano siya gamitin legally, ethically, also safety and responsibly. So before we begin our lesson, let us first look at our learning objective. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to accomplish 3 things. So una, you should be able to identify kung ano yung legal, ethical, and societal issues sa media and information. So, meaning, you should recognize situation involving kung ano yung copyright, plagiarism, privacy, cyberbullying, internet addiction, and kung ano pa yung mga ibang related concern. Second, you should be able to explain copyright, fair use, plagiarism, and netiquette. So, hindi lang natin i-memorize yung mga yan, pati yung definition. So, we will also look kung sa sitwasyon kung saan yung mga concept na to is na-apply natin. And third, you should be able to create a basic HTML and CSS advocacy web page promoting responsible media use. So, medyo pahapyawan lang ulit natin yung HTML and CSS natin dahil baka makalimutan natin. So, our essential question for this lesson is how can students protect themselves and others by practicing legal, ethical, and responsible media use online? So think about that question for a moment. So using the internet responsibly is not only about pagpaprotekta natin sa sarili natin. So your online action can also affect other people. So for example, posting another person's private photo or private photograph na hindi ala naman tayong permission, nakaka-affect yun ng person's privacy. Pangungopia ng another's creator's work without permission. So that is plagiarism. Pag-spread natin ng maling impormasyon, makaka-apekto yun ng maraming tao. Pag-send natin ng insulto, ng message, na nakaka-harm sa ibang tao. Responsible media use nag-i-involve siya ng pag-intindi natin sa mga digital action na ginagawa natin na meron ding mga consequence. So, motivation. Before we divide kung ano yung mga key terms natin, mag-start tayo with a simple activity called Is It Responsible? So, makikita nyo yung mga different situation, and for each situation, I want you to think about 4 question. So, legal ba siya? Ethical ba siya? Safe ba siya? And what should the person do instead? So, notice that something can sometimes involve more than one issue. So, an action may involve kung may copyright ba to, privacy ba to ng iba, yung mga respeto, pati yung safety. So, all of them at the same time. So you do not need to answer out loud since this is a recorded lesson, but you may simply pause the video for a few seconds para mag-isip ng sagot nyo. So here is our first situation. A student copies an image from Google and use it in a project without credit. So, examine natin kung ano yung situation. So, first question, ano ba yung nangyari? What happened? So, the answer is, the student found an image online, copied it, and used it para sa school project. So, second, was someone works copy or copied? Yes, meron. So, an image appearing on Google does not automatically mean na walang may-ari nun. So, Google is mainly helping you para malocate yung content na nag-e-exist sa iba't ibang website. So, the image may have been created by a photographer, designer, artist, organization, or company. No, so, our third question, what responsible action should be done? So, the student should check who created the image. Kung sino yung gumawa nun. Kung yung image ba na yun is allowed to be reused and whether proper credit is required. So, if credit is required, the student should include the source. Kailangan, ilagay nyo yung source kung kailangan ng credit, kung required yung credit. Another option, pwede tayong gumamit ng mga content that is clearly allowed for reuse or mga copyright free, mga ganyan. So, this situation will become easier to understand once na-discuss ko sa inyo yung copyright and plagiarism mamaya. So, for our situation 2, a student posts a classmate's embarrassing photo in a group chat. So, ask yourself, respectful ba to? So, probably not, especially if the classmate did not give an information na i-post nyo yun. So, can this harm someone? Actually, yes. So, even if the student posting the image think na joke lang yan, the person in the picture may feel embarrassed, humiliated, and also that person can feel unsafe. So, remember that once something is shared online, other people may save it. Pwede nilang screenshot, pwede nilang i-forward kung kani-kanino nakakilala nila. So, what should the student done instead or do instead? So, the responsible action is to respect the person's privacy. So, huwag tayo mag-share ng embarrassing photo or private content without permission. So, if something may humiliate or hurt someone, do not post it. So, a useful rule is, before posting something about another person, imagine kung ikaw yun, ano yung mararamdaman mo. So, next. So, for today's lessons, these are our key terms. So, matatakil natin si intellectual property, si copyright, fair use, plagiarism, netiquette, privacy, digital divide, internet addiction, cyberbullying, and lastly, the virtual self. So, some of these terms are legal concepts. So, yung others naman, ethical or societal issues. Pero lahat yan is connected to responsible use of media and information. So, we're going to discuss them one at a time. So, habang nakikinig kayo, try to connect each concept with situation you have personally seen online. So, our first concept is intellectual property. So, intellectual property refers to the creation of mind. Example, mga photos, videos, music, etc. So, bakit nga ba tinatawag natin tong intellectual property? So, dahil someone use their knowledge, creativity, also effort and skill para gawin yun. So, for example, imagine that nag-spend kayo ng several hours designing ng isang original poster. So, ikaw nag-isip ng layout, ikaw nag-create ng illustration, ikaw nagsulat ng content, then another person downloads your work. Inalis yung pangalan mo, and kinlaim nila na sila gumawa nun. So, you probably would not consider that fair. So, the same idea applies to digital content created by other people just because something can easily be downloaded or pwedeng kopyahin does not mean wala na yung owner. So that is why this slide reminds us kung these works belong to their creator. Na yung mga work na nakikita natin is meron silang own creator. So next. So discuss natin si copyright. So copyright protects the original work of a creator. It means that other people cannot simply copy, sell, repost, or use someone's original work without considering the rights of the creator. So example, kung ano ba yung works that may be protected ni copyright. Mga song, movies, books, image, online articles, and digital artwork. So, example, imagine someone creates an original song. Kumuha ang kanta, original na kanta. Siya mismo yung kumanta, siya nag-isip. So, another person cannot simply download that song. So, hindi niya rin pwedeng i-claim yung ownership. And hindi niya rin pwedeng ibenta na parang sa kanya yung work. So, the same idea applies to photograph, mga illustration, written content, mga videos, and many other creative works. So, as a student, kayo, copyright becomes important na pag gumagawa tayong mga PowerPoint, mga poster, videos, website, research output, and other mga school projects natin. So, when using another person's material, always na itanong natin sa sarili natin, ako ba gumawa nito? Or sino ba yung gumawa nito? And pwede ko ba siyang gamitin? And kung gagamitin ko siya, kailangan ko pa ba siyang i-credit or kailangan ko pa ba siyang ilagay? So next, fair use. So according sa lesson natin, fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material for specific purposes. Example nito, yung mga education, research, commentary, criticism, and news reporting. So, the important word is limited. So, fair use does not simply mean na I'm a student, so pwede kong kopyahin lahat sa internet. So, that is not what fair use means. So, this slide specifically pinapaalala sa atin na fair use does not mean student can copy everything freely. So, for example, using a small portion of material para i-discuss or analyze something for educational purposes is very different from kopyahin yung buong work and presenting it as your own. So, do not treat the words fair use as automatic permission para kopyahin kung ano yung gusto lang natin. So, responsible students still need to think about proper credit, purpose, amount used, and whether the information or whether the permission is needed. Next. Now we move sa isa sa pinaka-importanting concept for you, mga students. So, plagiarism. Plagiarism means using someone else's work or ideas and presenting them as your own. Example, nag-i-include ng copying text without citation, paggamit natin ng image without credit or without proper credit, and pagsasubmit ng another student work and copy-pasting information from the internet. So imagine that tinanong ko kayo, write an explanation about cyberbullying. So instead na gumawa kayo, nagsulat kayo ng explanation, you copy an entire paragraph from a website and sinubmit nyo without mentioning the source. So the problem is not simply that na nahanap natin yung information online. So yung problema is pine-present natin yung someone else writing na parang sa atin yun. So another example, copying your classmate activity, changing the name, and also submitting it. So, that is also plagiarism. So, when someone else's work contributes to your output, so, kailangan natin ng proper acknowledgement. So, nagmamatter yun, ng proper credit. Paano nga ba natin maiiwasan si plagiarism? So, first, gumamit kayo ng sarili nyong words. So, understand the information and explain it properly instead of simply copying sentence. Second, give proper credit. So if you use information from another source, identify kung saan nanggaling yun. Third, so use quotation marks for copied text when appropriate. So si quotation mark, nakakatulong siya para i-indicate that certain words came directly from another source. So fourth, adding sources. So your audience and yung mga teachers should be able to identify kung saan ba natin hiniram yung important information na to, kung saan ba siya nanggaling. And fifth, pag-use natin ng free-to-use or Creative Commons materials kung kinakailangan. So, ang pinaka-importanting idea dyan is using someone person work responsibly is different from pretending that their work belongs to you. So, dapat naglalagay talaga tayo ng credit. So, next concept natin, netiquette. So, netiquette means proper behavior online. So, the word combines the idea of the internet or network with etiquette. So, etiquette means yung mga proper and respectful behavior natin online. So, good netiquette includes being respectful, pag-avoid ng offensive word, iisip natin bago natin i-post yung isang bagay, and hindi natin pag-spread ng false information. And also, respecting privacy. For example, disagreement. So, ano na yan, normal na yan online. So, you may disagree with another person opinion. But disagreement does not give you permission to insult, insulto, mambastos, threaten, or humiliate that person. So you can disagree respectfully. So another example is commenting on someone else post or someone's post. So before pressing send, tanungin muna natin sarili natin. Would I say this to the person face? Kaya ko ba itong sabihin sa kanya harapan? So if the answer is no, because is it too offensive or disrespectful? So you probably should not type it online either. Dahil parehas lang yun. Next, privacy. So, privacy means protecting personal information. So, this slide is pinapakita niya sa atin to avoid sharing information such as a password, home address, contact number, etc. So, bakit nga ba siya importante? Dahil information that seems harmless can sometimes be misused. So, for example, never give your password to someone just because kailangan nila. So, a password protects access sa mga personal account natin, personal information natin, personal things natin. So, also be careful with private photograph or personal information. So, tanongin ulit natin sarili natin. Does everyone online really need to know this? Kailangan ba lahat alam to? Lahat ba ng gumagamit ng social media, ng Facebook, alam to? So, responsible media use means understanding that not every part of your personal life needs to be publicly shared. Next, cyberbullying. So, another serious issue. So, cyberbullying is use of digital platforms to hurt, threaten, embarrass, or harass others. Examples include posting insults, pag-share ng embarrassing photos, pag-create ng fake accounts, pag-spread ng rumors, and sending harmful message. So, cyberbullying can happen on saan ba yan? Saan ba nangyayari cyberbullying na yan? Sa social media, sa group chat, online games, messaging platforms, and other digital spaces. So, one reason na si cyberbullying pwede siya maging seryoso is because harmful content may spread quickly. So, kung ano yung pinost natin is nag-i-spread siya ng mabilis dahil halos napakaraming gumagamit ng internet and maraming tao makakakita nun. So, humiliating posts can be shared with many people in only a few minutes. So, if someone is being targeted online, huwag na tayo makikontribute by liking, sharing, or forwarding harmful content. So responsible media use includes refusing to participate in online harassment. So next, digital divide. So ano nga ba to? Digital divide refers to the gap between people who have access to technology and the internet and those who do not. So this issue can affect yung mga online learning, communication, research, access to information, and also opportunities. So connect natin siya sa buhay estudyante nyo. So imagine, two student. So itong si isang student, meron siyang laptop, smartphone, and stable internet connection sa bahay. And another student only has occasional access sa mga shared device. And also unstable yung internet niya. So even if yung dalawang student na yun are equally hardworking, yung access nila sa digital resources is magkaiba. So different. So yung kaibahan na yun pwedeng maka-apekto to their ability na makapag-participate in online learning. So when we discuss technology, we should remember that access is not always equal. This is why the digital divide is considered a societal issue. So, internet addiction. So, according to our presentation, internet addictions happen when a person has difficulty controlling internet or gadget use. So, ano ba yung mga possibly sign yan? Mga lack of sleep, pag-ignore natin sa mga gawain sa school. So, hindi na tayo nakikita ng ibang tao sa bahay kasi nasa kwarto na lang tayo palagi. Pag-use natin ng gadget for too many hours and feeling anxious without internet access. So, technology itself is useful. So, gumagamit tayo ng internet para sa matuto, sa komunikasyon, entertainment, research, and many other productive activities. So, the concern starts when a person has difficulty controlling the amount of time spent online and important responsibilities begin to affected. So, for student, one important skill is balance. So, we should know when technology is nakakatulong ba siya sa atin or use of technology is beginning to interfere sa mga gawain natin, sa mga important doings natin with school, sa pahinga natin, relationship, or other responsibilities. Next, virtual self. So, virtual self refers to how a person present themselves online. Examples include your mga profile picture, mga post nyo, comment, shared content, online username, and digital behavior. So, everything na ginagawa natin online, pwede siyang maka-contribute on how people perceive you. So, for example, imagine that someone consistently posts respectful, helpful, and informative content. So, that creates one type of online impression. So, now, imagine nyo, someone constantly posts offensive mga comment, insult sa ibang tao, or spread misleading content. So, nakakapag-create yun ng another impression. So, that is why the slide pinapaalala niya sa atin kung na yung online action natin is pwedeng maka-apekto sa reputasyon natin. So, think before you post because what you share online may become part of how other people understand kung ano yung character and behavior natin even hindi pa nila tayo namimit. So, responsible media use. So, what does a responsible media user look like? So, respect others, pag-give natin ng credit, verify information, pag-protect natin ng privacy, pag-avoid natin ng harmful posts, and use media to inform, help, and inspire. So, let us look at one important item, verify information. Just because na may nakita tayo in social media does not automatically mean na totoo yun. So before sharing information, check natin whether the information or whether the source is reliable. And also remember the words na think before you share. So lagi nyong tatanungin, totoo ba to, necessary ba to, respetado ba to, and may masasaktan ba ako iba pagka share or post ko to. So responsible media use is not only about knowing technical skills, it also involves na gumawa tayo ng maayos and mabubuti na desisyon. So, copyright and per use situation. So, a group wants to use a popular song as background music for an online project. So, now consider natin mga question na to na kailangan pa ba ng permission? And can they use copyright-free music instead? And how can they give proper credit? So, the important lesson is simply naghahanap tayo ng popular song online, hindi ibig sabihin nun is automatically free to use na siya sa mga ginagawa natin, mga projects natin. So, a responsible group should think about the copyright status ng kanta. So, one option provided. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng copyright music instead. So, always consider that. So, the group also identify the proper source or credit when required. So, this is especially important when your school output will be posted online because online publication makes your project accessible on sa maraming tao, wider audience. Okay. So, instead of choosing music only because it is popular, sikat siya, viral siya, trending siya, also think about whether you are using it responsibly. So, kailangan din talaga nating isipin kung and yes, mag-reflect kung na-use ba natin yung kinukuha natin online responsibly. So, responsible use decision guide. So, this slide give us very useful decision guide. So, before using online, so, sino ba gumawa nitong work na to, idea na to? Pwede ba tong gamitin? Libre lang ba siyang gamitin? Kailangan pa ba ng permission from the owner? And kailangan pa bang i-cite yung source and gagamitin ko ba siya sa tama? So, media ethics. So, media ethics means choosing what is right and responsible when creating or sharing information. Like, ethical media use means not harming others, not stealing contents, not spreading false information, and not misleading the audience. So, technology give us the ability para makagawa ng maraming bagay, but the question is, not always kaya ko ba to? Can I do this? So, sometimes the better question is, should I do this? So, for example, you might technically have the ability na mag-screenshot ng private conversation. But does that mean na ipopost natin siya publicly? So, ethical decision-making requires us to think about responsibility, pagiging fair natin sa ibang tao, sa sarili natin, privacy, and yung mga possible harm, kung anong pwedeng mangyari. So, next, advocacy message. So, we are now connecting sa media and information literacy lesson sa webpage task natin. So, an advocacy message encourage yung mga tao na sumuporta sa or suportahan yung responsible action. Example, yan yung mga nasa example natin, stop cyberbullying. So, an advocacy message should normally maikli lang. Maikli siya, concise siya, malinaw siya, and easy to remember. So, you are not writing an entire essay sa isang slogan. Instead, nakikipag-communicate tayo on one important idea that you want your audience to remember. So later, nagawa na pala natin yung PT dito. So again, basic CSS. Okay, meron pa tayong call to action pa pala. So, itong si call to action, tinetel niya yung mga audience naman kung ano yung dapat gawin after they see the message. So, katulad ng give credit to creators, report cyberbullying, mga ganyan, think before you post. And notice na yung mga statements na to nagko-contain siya ng action. So, the audience is being encouraged na may gawin. So when creating your web page, your call to action, kailangan nagmamatch siya sa chosen issue natin. So, next, kailangan connect, we need to connect our advocacy topic with basic web development. So, si CSS siya nagko-control ng design ng web page. And remember, from our previous HTML and CSS lesson, HTML mainly gives give us the content and structure ng web page natin. So si HTML siya yung structure ng website or web page. And si HTML naman, wala na si HTML. Si HTML naman siya naman yung uh, bones ng web page natin. So, siya yung structure. Sa kanya natin nilalagay lahat ng content, and si CSS naman siya nagde-design ng mga content dun sa HTML. So, end of discussion. So, this brings us sa pinaka-last slide natin on our end of discussion. So, before we move sa iba nating gawain, and I believe this will be the last on our prelim. So, be responsible, respect creators, protect privacy, use kind words, think before posting, and give proper credit. So, being digitally skilled, importante yan. Pero yung being responsible with those digital skills is equally important. So, the best technology user is not simply the person na alam yung many application. So, a responsible technology user also understand how their action affect yung mga creators, classmate communities, and other people online. Okay, I'm sorry class, naantok na ako. So, I believe nakumpleto naman natin lesson natin for today. So again, this is Sir Nathan signing off. Good luck to your day.